Hey guys, welcome back to the NC Barndo Build channel if you're a returning subscriber. If you're new here, thanks for joining us. We are finishing up the drain waste vent system in our barndominium, and I couldn't be happier. Today we're hooking up the main building drain and finishing the vent system, so let's dig right in. All right, we made it all the way over to the far end of the crawl space where the plumbing enters the house. Let me show you what we're looking at here and how I'm figuring out how to run this main drain line. Our main pipe enters the foundation here outside the wall. We have a clean out and it runs all the way down to the other end. I don't know if you can see that pipe sticking out of the wall there. We have to run all the way down to that hole where it goes out of the foundation and into the septic tank. So that's a 56-foot run approximately. And I put my laser, I set my laser up and I took some measurements. I have approximately 11 inches of fall to play with from where it enters the foundation until where the main drain line exits the foundation. So let's do some math on that and I'll tell you how I'm figuring out the fall for this main drain line. Okay, let's look at the main building drain. It comes into the building on the left side, runs all the way across to the right, out the side wall, and over into the septic tank. Inside the foundation, we have approximately 56 feet. We know we have 11 inches of fall to work with. So let's do a little bit of math. We can be anywhere from 1/8 of an inch per foot to up to 1/2 inch per foot. So let's just take 1/4 inch. I kind of like that number. 1/4 inch per foot times that 56 feet gives us 14 inches of fall that we would need. We don't have quite that much, so I can't do 1/4 inch, but if we go down to 1/8 of an inch, do the same math, that gives us 7 inches of fall needed. So we're right in between 1/8 to 1/4 inch, which in my book for a 3-inch drain line, I'm really happy with that. Now we have something we can shoot for as we set this main drain line up. Here's the small short section of pipe that we ran through the foundation wall, and I want you to look right there. Kind of hard to see. That's an 1/8 inch fall there on that second line. That's exactly what we want, running all the way down to the other end. Guest bathroom shower, vent pipe, drain, trap. So what I have is a 2-inch piece here, a 2-inch trap with a 2-inch vent, and that's going to go up in here like this. The vent will run up, obviously. My sanitary tee drain will run this way, and then we will elbow it over to the main drain line, which is behind the camera, and use a Y to take it in to the main drain. Let's go ahead. I have everything marked here. We're going to go ahead and get it glued up, and then we can put it on the bottom here, push it up, and get it glued up into the shower pan. And then I have a strap set here because this pipe is loose. I have a strap that will hold the weight as this stuff sets up. Will hold the weight here. I'll probably put another strap on it just to have a double until we get things lined up, because once I have the fall down here, then I can secure everything. That way all the vent pipes that go up into the attic are at the appropriate height, and then I can run my vent line slope properly up front, but I got to have everything in the crawl space secured. So I'm going to start putting the strapping up and some J-hooks and some other hangers here for the piping so we can get everything secured and rigid down here in the crawl space. And then once we're done down here, we can go up into the attic and start working on that. There's a look at the underside. P-trap with a clean out here. Vent coming in, sanitary T, drain this way, and we'll put an elbow going over to the main line. Once we get the main line ran the rest of the way, you can kind of see we got it just temporarily hung up. It's not glued, but just to kind of give us an idea of where we need to be. Here's where the double vanity drain line comes down through the floor. And this is the rim joist, 2x10 rim joist that sits on top of the concrete stem wall. It's 12 inches here. It's 8 inches thick up here. So we created a reverse brick ledge where the floor system sits on top, and then on the other side of this is where the wall system. So the back side of this rim joist is 8 inches of concrete. That's why I had to bring that pony wall and bring everything out so I could get my drain line down through, because I can't be on the other side of the rim joist because it's all concrete. I guess I could, it would just be difficult. So we brought it down through the floor, we've elbowed it over, and then we're running it over into a Y with a 45 degree into the main. This is 2 inch, that's 3 inch over there. That's the main drain line that is gonna run the full length, and we just have to hook everything up to it. So let's get started on this, get it all glued up, primed up, and glued up. Well, I've been racking my brain for a good day now on how to hook this shower up to the main drain line, and I think I finally got it figured out. We're also tying in a second sink for the kitchen in, and my issue was I'm trying to keep everything below the floor joists without having to bore holes through them. And my original plan A, didn't work, so we went with plan B. Let me show you what I got up to this point with the shower drain, and I'll kind of talk you through how the building code affected it, and we'll go from there. Right there is where the shower drain pokes through the floor, and it runs over here to the vent. And by code, with a 2 inch pipe with 1/4 inch fall per foot, I'm limited to 8 feet. We're right at 6 feet on this run. The problem was I wanted to run over into the sanitary T with the vent, come down elbow over, and run over to the 3 inch main line behind me. The problem was by the time I put the elbow on here, I was way too low, and I was below where the main line is, which I'm limited because it comes out of the wall here, and I got to keep the fall on the main line. So we flipped the sanitary T to run it over, and I thought I could elbow over, but my kitchen sink, second sink, is over there, which runs down, and I thought I might as well just tee it in. So I 45'd it over to get it lined up with my Y, and then connected both of them in together, and then into the main line with a Y. So I think we're in good shape there. I got my fall, I'm just a fuzz over a 1/4 inch of fall on this, so I need to pick that up, and I can do that by just moving these screws. I've strapped it, and I can adjust the height on this by just tightening those screws up a little bit. And then my fall over here is about a 1/4 inch a foot. And then as it picks up this line, I'm probably a fuzz high down there because I'm about almost a 1/2 inch fall per foot there. I don't think it's going to be a big issue, so I'm going to leave it go. But we'll get this sucked up. That's an easy way to adjust the height, is put one of those straps on and put some long screws in, and you can adjust your height, and it helps hold your pipe. But that's where we're at. This is probably the most complex part of the drain system. So the next part is to prime and glue everything up. Everything that you just seen was just dry fit together. I always do that just to make sure I like the end product, and then I'll take it off. I'm going to mark everything, take it all apart, we'll prime it up, glue it up, and then we'll put our hangers on, and we'll be set to go, and we'll just continue right on down. Hope y'all are ready for this final piece. All right. Purple. Purple. We're gonna glue this, slip it on this way, and should be good. All right. Time to glue. 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 Messy glue. Okay. Glue and glue. 2,000. All right, it is a done deal. Let's make sure we kept our slope. In between 1/4 and 3/8. 3/8. Quarter. So we pick up slope just a little bit. 1/4, a fuzz over 1/4, and 3/8. All right, guys, that is it. That is the finished work of the plumbing. Now I'm working to vent all of that drainage, all the fixtures. And what we've done is we've just stubbed everything up through into the attic. And so now I just need to go through, run my pipe, put my fittings on, and connect everything together. And then we'll have one vent that pokes through the roof on the other end of the house. And that'll be the vent header for all the fixtures in the home, with the exception of the island and a second kitchen sink, which I was unable to get up to the attic. So we are hopefully on the last day, so let's get started on this vent system. Honestly, what I need to really get good video of this is probably a GoPro, because I'm not going to be able to hold my phone while I'm working and not fall. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll get some plumbing, I'll get some shots maybe from the ground, and then give you a look at the final product here as we go, so you can see how we're putting this thing together. But so far it's worked really well to stub everything down through the floor and then hook everything up, and then stub everything up through the attic and then hook everything up. So you kind of work level by level, main floor with the fixtures, get all that plumbed up, then go underneath, get everything plumbed up down there, get your fall set properly, get it secured, and then everything that was stubbed up through all the vents through to the attic, get all those hooked up, poke them out through the roof. So so far so good on that. Let's get this stuff hooked up, and I'll give you a little look as we make progress through this vent system. Our shower vent, I've elbowed over to catch the vents over here, and all I've done is just hooked up a little adjustable strap to get my fall correct here. So everything is sloped over to here, and it'll go down through the drain in the floor. Just my little way, I guess, if you're working by yourself on how to make this thing work. And then what we'll do is we'll put an elbow in here, go over, catch those three, come up, and then head all the way over to those vent pipes down at the other end. And here is the guest bath hookup. We have the 2-inch vent that comes up here. This ties in the lavatory and then elbows around underneath me to pick up the shower. So lav shower in with the toilet, 2-inch vent up and elbows over. And that's the one that runs all the way down to the other end. All right, this is the last piece we have to put in. Connect these two together, and then what we'll do is tee on up through the roof here. Hey, if you've been following along on the build since we've done the roof deck, you may remember we put 5/8 zip sheathing up there. I want something a little more solid when I put that pipe boot on there for things to, for that to secure that to. And since I'm aiming for in between the ribs on my standing seam, I want to put it in the flat area. I need to reinforce that. Of course, I need to miss my purlins and the trusses as well. So I've built this piece to go in between my purlins to reinforce. So it's actually going to go up in the roof, I guess like this, and then my hole will go through this, through the roof deck, and that'll give me an extra 3/4 of an inch. This is 3/4 inch plywood, so an extra 3/4 for those 1.5 inch screws that I'm putting in the roof to bite into. And then if I ever down the road have to change the pipe boot for whatever reason, supposedly they're supposed to last 30 years, then I can take this piece back out because I'm going to put it in with some 3-inch screws. I can take this piece back out, put a new fresh piece in there, and then I can put my screws down and I got fresh wood to put the new pipe boot onto. So I can't really hold the camera and put this stuff up there. So I'm going to go install this and then I'll give you guys a look at what it looks like, and then we'll put the dreaded hole in the roof. There's a look at it in place just to kind of reinforce the area we're going to poke through the roof, give my screws some more meat to hang on to. I know I'm in between the seams because there's a screw there and there's a screw there, 16 inches apart. So this should be right in the middle of the flat area. We're going to go ahead and drill a hole through there now. Going into this part of the project, I thought cutting this hole was going to be super easy, but it turned out to be quite difficult. I spent just about 35 minutes trying to get this hole punched through the roof. I used my hole saw to drill through the 3/4 inch plywood piece and then the 5/8 roof deck. But once I got to that steel, that hole saw did not want to cut through that. So what you'll see me end up doing is punching holes around the perimeter with a smaller drill bit. Tried again to use the hole saw thinking that would probably work, and it didn't. So I take my Sawzall up there, which you'll see in a second here, to finish it off. And I don't actually run the Sawzall. I'm just pulling the blade down through, and it cut through the metal pretty easy. But man, what a project. There we go. Unconventional way to get that out. I'm glad that's done. Now let's go get the pipe fit up through there. I think my hole saw was maybe dull. I don't know. I tried running it forwards and backwards to get through that steel, and it just wasn't happening. So that's what I came up with. Take a little bit of a break, let my shoulders rest, and then we'll get up there and get that pipe pushed through. Here's the deal, guys. I'm not going to get up on that steel roof with a camera in one hand and try to do this. So I'm going to get this set up in there, and I'll give you a look at the finished product with my drone. And yeah, let's hope I don't slide off the roof. Really happy with the way this vent turned out. There you can see poking through the roof. Real happy with the way that extra meat I put underneath the sheathing there. That extra 3/4 inch plywood really helps. The little strap helps to support some of the weight. And we're in good shape. Let's take a look outside. One more thing, guys, real quick. That little bit of work I did on the metal roof, I learned a lot. It can get slick up there really quick, and this is a 412 roof pitch, so it's not steep by any means. But when you put a standing seam steel roof and no grip up there, you can slide off pretty quick. So just make sure you have a good pair of soft rubber sole shoes, or even better yet, magnetic shoes, and always wear your safety harness. Guys, that's all I have for you today. We'll see you on the next video.